neighbor, State Farm is there.
What's up, guys? It's Monday, so CassMac Chat always. I'm a little early today, about 6 minutes early, and last week I was about 30 minutes late, so I guess I'm trying to get a happy medium when it comes to that. But I will. Yeah, I don't. What's up, Joseph? I don't want Brady to win, but I'm just kind of going for my DraftKings players. So whatever happens there, I'll definitely watch it. But I could really care less other than my DraftKings players. So, but there isn't too much Braves news, so to speak. We've got the international signing period started yesterday. We signed 21. Hello, Jameson. Oh, I forgot to tell you last week. Sorry about your Titans. The international signing signing period started yesterday. We were able to sign 21, which is really good. The Venezuelan outfielder Luis Gupta, or I don't know how Guptia. I definitely know I didn't say that right, but he was a big prize for the Braves, ranked in the top 10 of both Fangraphs and Baseball America. So that is good. 21 guys, 13 pitchers to kind of replenish our farm system. I didn't really go into depth on the guys. I know we got a lot from Venezuela. Very, very happy about that. But you know how great our scouting department is. So that's fun to speculate and gonna be fun to watch these guys develop, because there's gonna be a few diamonds in the rough because the Braves scouting department is so very good. The arbitration hearing deadline was Friday. We were unable to get a deal done with Max Fried to avoid arbitration. Not really surprising, though, given his ties to LA and how good he is and things of that nature. Not to be, he was projected to get 12 and a half. But the Braves filed 13 and a half, and Max filed at 15. I would assume that 15, Max will easily get 15 because he has all the leverage in the world. I would assume that for sure, just because he's been so consistent, so good, and coming off a second in the Cy Young. But hopefully we can work out a deal. Who knows? It's probably unlikely, but I think Max Fried is 1,000 times more important than Freddie or Dansby in terms of big free agents coming up. So we'll see how that process goes. Yes, it is really nice to see us finally back involved in the international signing period. It's the second year of it. It's really, really helped us over the years. Ronald, Ozzie, things of that nature. So that's good. It's the second year. We don't have sanctions, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, Ronnie came from Venezuela. A lot of our guys came from Venezuela. The funny thing is, I didn't see many Colombian players signing. The Dominican Republic has been huge as well, so it's a little weird that Colombia has taken a backseat in terms of international prospects across the league. But that is nice. Nice to know that the Braves are back in it, and because we know how good our scouting department is and such. It would be nice to have another Acuna. It always is. If that comes to fruition. But we were able to sign Dennis Santana under projected at $1 million. Lucas Lipke from the Yankees, he was projected 1.7. I think we got him at 1.55 million. The one that I was pleasantly surprised was AJ Minter. He was projected to get 5. We signed him for 4.28. So that was a nice one. Joe Jimenez from Detroit signed for. He was the only one that signed over projected, but he was only over projection by about 100,000. He signed for 2.76, and it was projected 2.6. So yeah, I mean the Murphy extension takes him out of arbitration, so that's a good thing there. Tyler Matzik signed his extension, so we didn't have to worry about that, and he doesn't have to worry about it with the Tommy John. So overall, arbitration was very successful, and hopefully maybe we can get an extension done with Max Fried. Although I think once you file for arbitration, I believe it's standard to keep going, but I'm not quite sure on that. Some other news around baseball from today. Jose Alfaro signed with signed a minor league deal with the Boston Red Sox. Trey Mancini signed a 2-year deal with an option with the Chicago Cubs. I can't figure out the Chicago Cubs, to be honest. I think Mancini's a great pickup for them, but it feels like they're just getting some stars and some older aging cast-offs from other organizations, kind of like the 2015 Braves a little bit. Our bullpen shouldn't worry us this year, but I mean, you're always going to have bumpy roads and injuries and things of that nature that you gotta. I mean, some unforeseen things, of course. Yeah, Max. Everybody would love an extension with Max Fried. I would sign what Carlos Rodon signed, 6/162 yesterday, if that was a possibility. But I'm pretty sure we've asked him probably a couple times, given how many extensions we've orchestrated over the past couple of years. So I just hope Max does what's best for him, and I hope that's an Atlanta Braves uniform. And I hope that we don't even have to entertain possibly trading him. So we will see on Max Fried for sure. Yeah, Ben Johnson has been the the guy that you hear most about. But I would love to see him and love to see his plan. If you can make Jared Goff relevant and solid, I think it's definitely worth a look. We'll see what eventually happens. But yeah. I agree. I don't think the Cubs actually know what they're doing because they don't have a lot of homegrown talent, so to speak. Especially pitching wise, that's definitely a boom or bust kind of lineup, and that's an interesting study to kind of watch throughout the year because I think if they get off to a good start, they could be a sneaky team, especially with the extra wild card. But I just don't know if they have sustained depth. Much like the Braves and the Cardinals, obviously, and things of that nature. The Reds, I don't know. They're still in deep rebuild, I think. So the NL Central and the Brewers never seem to have enough offense. So that's weird. But I think it's Cardinals. I think I really liked the majority of moves they've made.
What's that? Ooh. Watch this.
That definitely, the Mallory thing probably definitely really factored in because family is important. But honestly, with all the contracts everybody was signing, I don't think there was a way he was coming back. Just the writing was on the wall, and I mean Dansby was consistently inconsistent for this year was his most consistent year, both at the plate and in the field. So who knows? I mean, no, I don't think. I agree, Jameson. I don't think they know either at all. I love Dansby, and I'm glad I can cheer for him. Other than when the Braves played the Cubs, but I don't know when, because there doesn't seem to be a clear direction. Yeah, they kind of tore down their 2016 team or the World Series and all that, but I don't think they necessarily got a lot of good pieces. So if Grisham ends up like Swanson, I won't be sad, to be honest. I mean, I'd like him to be a little more consistent at the plate, but a little more consistent in the field. If Grisham is Dansby in the field and a little bit more consistent at the plate, I think we've got something amazing there. So we'll just see how spring training plays out, and I just hope people let VG be VG. And I know it's a comparison to Swanson, but it can't. Vaughn and Swanson are like really different-ish. So I hope people let Vaughn be Vaughn and see what happens, to be honest. I really do. And if Ron Washington gives you kind of the seal of approval, working hard, all that stuff, and continuing to work on his drills and all that stuff, I have no reason not to. And Orlando Arcia, is a great veteran stopgap. So I have no qualms about that. Yeah, Matt Olson is probably Matt Olson's gonna probably have a breakout year. Given it was a pretty good year last year, but he doesn't have the Freddie Freeman of it all. And he has the Freddie Freeman of it all in the rear view mirror. The shift going away should help, but who knows? But it's a good idea and just it's gonna be fun to watch and fun to see. We are close-ish to pitchers and catchers reporting. 28 days, I believe. Whatever, February 13th is the first pitchers and catchers workout and report. Sophomore slumps, struggles always happen in every year, so I hope he doesn't either. But he had some slumps last year and was able to work out of them. So, and his defense never slumps. So I think Michael Harris will be fine. But I do agree that I hope he doesn't have prolonged slumps. I think that if VG has anywhere close to Dansby's defense, I'm good because VG seems more polished at the plate than Dansby was early on. Deeper counts, things of that nature. So I think we're gonna be okay in terms of that. But we'll see. I just hope he makes the plays he's supposed to make and a few spectacular ones here or there. So that's just the ultimate thought there. Thank you. Wow. Chicken, potatoes, corn, and green beans. We should have a healthy Aussie to start the season. I wouldn't know why we wouldn't. Yeah. Dansby did Ronnie did get engaged. That's nice to see for him. Really, really happy. And again, another year off of the Achilles or ACL Achilles. That's ACL. Sorry. Would be great for him to have like a breakout again. But he was still really, really solid last year, even though it was a little more inconsistent than he wanted it, but than anyone wanted it, to be honest. But Andrew McCutchen going back to the Pirates is a nice story. And they quietly had I know their pitching's probably not going to be there, but they quietly had a nice offseason. I would love to have Duval back, but then it creates more of a clouded left field DH situation than there already is. But I've heard rumors that the Phillies and Mets are on Duval, so if we can kind of step in and default that would be really nice. But I love Duval. I think Duval is a lot more consistent than Eddie Rosario. But again, I think the Ozuna of it all will have to be figured out, because right now he would be the primary DH. So it's still clouded, and Duvall would be probably your primary left fielder against lefties, and Eddie against righties if you were able to do something with Marcell Ozuna. You could use Eddie Rosario's primary DH or something, but then you also got Jordan Luplow, Sam Hilliard, Eli White, those kind of guys, those fringe roster bench guys that, who knows. We talked about this last week, Joseph. I know you don't want Ozuna, but the reality is the reality. Right now, $32 million is hard to get off your roster, especially with the extra baggage that he carries.
Can they really become a legit championship contender and win those late rounds of the postseason?
It was very, very insightful, and I know AA hates the word culture, and I don't know what word to replace it with, but it makes me warm and fuzzy, so to speak, to know that Alex Anthopoulos listens to his players about the hand warmers and about the smallest things to help the team be successful, even if it is the smallest thing. So that was very nice, and yeah, it was interesting to hear him say about the leadership being like a mixed job. Was nice. And to I think Eli White is the best defensive option that's kind of parallel to Michael Harris. If we're to give him a day off. But honestly, I think it depends on how Sam Hilliard, Eli White, Jordan Luplow do in spring training to kind of those things kind of work themselves out. But the reality of our organization and culture is a really, really good one, and I'm really, really happy about that. I can't get enough, and even when guys like Freddie and Dansby walk, Alex Anthopoulos is he doesn't BS it. He tells you straight. It's what an organization, how an organization should be run, and I really, really respect that, and I respect the entire process for Matt Olson and how he explained it, and the fact that he didn't diss the Oakland Raiders. I mean, the Oakland A's. I think that is nice.
Taking his time, waiting for things to unfold, getting to his spot, finishing, dancing there on the floor.
Well, yeah, Eli White's most likely going to be a defensive replacement, but you said who would give Michael Harris more days off. If we give Michael Harris days off, I honestly I'm just saying Eli White's the best defensive comparison, if there is a comparison to Michael Harris. So that's why I just said that. But
setting a screen, but rolling as he was setting that screen. Officials are very consistent with calling that even screen hole.
But yeah, let's see. I think Juan Soto's brother signed with the Nationals in the international signing period as well. So that not really a surprise there.
14 for DeAndre Ayton. You look up and they're still in a 16-point hole.
But again, I think there is still time for moves in the outfield to just clarify the situation. But obviously, I think it's going to come down to who has a Pablo Sandoval or Ehir Adrianza type of spring training that will clear that up, so to speak. The back end of the Nick Anderson's, Dennis Santana's, the Yaxel Rios. That's going to be an interesting battle to watch in spring training as well. The fifth starter spot, are really, really big in terms of that. That could be interesting. Like, I think there's, I would like, that's not surprising that there's more Guerreros. Yeah, the ice cream machine story was a big one from last year, and I didn't realize about the hand warmers, but hey, whatever works and whatever psychologically gets us psyched up to win games and be able to win games. I think the day game of it all, that's going to be a key thing to watch, because that's where we struggled last year. Or one of the areas we struggled last year. The bench rolls will be interesting to see who grabs those. I think Chad Pinder might be a nice pickup. Because he can play infield and outfield, and you got the Oakland A's connection, and he's only 30, and the versatility would be unmatched. Obviously, again, you would have to clear some fog. I don't think Kimbrel is what he was at all. I think he's still electric, but he's really, really streaky, and especially when you add like the Philly bullpen of what it is, good guys going in there and struggling. It's an odd thing, so that'll be interesting to follow. But definitely Craig Kimbrel's not what he used to be, but he's still going to be a pain. He'll probably go back to Rookie of the Year Kimbrel when we face him, because that's just how it goes. That's just the reality of guys facing the Braves. They turn into Babe Ruth or Sandy Koufax.
For him. Then Wade Martindale, this is what throwback, the coach's coach. This is one that it's good to see on a coaching list. The Indianapolis Colts have requested permission to speak with Martindale. I've done a great job with the Giants. I've interviewed in the past, never really got a lot of traction on the head coaching front, but Indy's looking forward to somebody who's solid, who's going to get it done on the sidelines. So maybe there's some momentum there.
There was one guy on that list a week ago we were talking about is Jim Harbaugh, and no longer on that list, of course. He flirted for the second year in a row. Michigan's president earlier today saying that Harbaugh, that is Jim, is staying with the Wolverines. this upcoming season. Jeremy, thank you so much.
Thanks, Joe.
Hey, Manning Pass coming up right here at the top of the hour. Eli and Peyton's tonight are as follows. Colorado head coach Deion Sanders.
It's just so weird. Kimbrel was even streaky in his good years with Boston. I mean, he was the most dominant with us, but he just is just so streaky, like a 3-point shooter. It's very, very, very weird. But yeah, I hope Craig dominates against the Mets and the Marlins and the Mets, Marlins, and struggles against us.
With chunky soup, lunchtime is your halftime. At Buffalo Wild Wings, the deals don't stop. Buy one, get one half off, win Tuesdays. Buy one, get one free bonus.
So yeah, that's pretty.
$6 happy hour deals.
It's pretty much
Only at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Strawberries, blueberries, and cherry on top. Fairlife.
Did Johan Camargo sign with anybody? I don't know if I saw that. I don't. And I know that's a random name, but
The shape that stole your heart is back.
well, the Mets kind of botched a lot of things, and that they definitely botched that thing. He's just Camargo's just a weird one, and that's why it popped in my head. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think the Cubs and the Twins are in the same boat as Jameson said earlier. I don't know if they know what they're doing. Because you got Correa, you got Kyle Farmer. I believe they did a Gio or a Shelton. They got somebody from the Angels that I can't remember. So they're kind of in that purgatory of unsure. Their pitching staff's a little weird. They don't necessarily have a lot of. They did sign Gallo, which I kind of like. Yeah, Max Kepler, if he can stay healthy, that would be a nice get. But again, I don't know the price tag in our farm system, even though replenished with the international signing period. I don't know that we would have enough. Plus, we are already over the luxury, and we probably would have to cut some salary because he still owed $7 million this year and a little more. I don't know what his contract status is, even though Max Kepler would be a nice get. I just don't know the health and the contract and the way the roster is now. You'd still have to work that out in one way or the other.
You need speed. Spectrum delivers the fastest internet speeds in the nation. You need
No, we're not.
to stay connected. They give you Spectrum Business Connect.
Ronald and Ozzy.
All your business communications.
Ronald's through 2029 and Ozzy's through 2028. So I think we're okay.
$9.99 a month. And Spectrum Business Connect for $19.99 a month.
No, I think we're good there, Joseph. Right now, I mean, it's only 2023, so I think we're okay.
No contracts, no surprise fees, no added phone taxes. Get 3 meg internet for $49.99.
I think that's right. Yeah, 2028 and 2029 for Ronald and Ozzy. So I think we're okay there.
And switch to Spectrum Business today.
Sports Center, brought to you by.
But I think we're in a really good spot again with most of our guys locked up.
I just want to imagine a world where Peyton gets ready for the Manning pass, which just went away, where Peyton says something to like Lions head coach Dan Campbell, like, so about this Biden ankles business.
Breaking kneecap.
Yeah. So I think we're again in a really good spot. The outfield, the bench, and the fifth starter, and some of those spots in the bullpen are up for grabs. Obviously, injuries and things of that nature will come into play as well.
15 seconds left. Michigan State down 1. Tyson Walker feeling it. 30 points. Michigan State up by 1 on the other end. Under 9 seconds to go. Who do you get the ball to?
Hey Hudson. What's up?
32.17 rebounds.
Would you guys go with Tony Pollard or Zeke Elliott if you had the choice? I know I'm switching.
Columbus, Florida versus Sierra Kane in the Football Classic in Springfield. Carlos Boozer on campus. He plays with Columbus. Celtics president Brad Stevens also in the building. You know Bronny James. Give the crowd what they want. The Sierra Canyon squad down early. Bronny had 13 points and 8 boards for the game. Second quarter. Cameron Boozer. Anything you can do, I can do as well. One of the top players in softball class, Cameron, 18 points to go along with 13 rebounds. Check this out.
Okay.
Cameron Boozer grabs the rebound. Takes it up the court. Into the lane. Loses the ball.
I went with Tony Pollard because he can catch better.
That game, Columbus wins 47-46.
I don't think we have enough to trade for Reynolds. I really don't.
I think the Bucks are going to get the Cowboys. I also want that. The Manning Cast is next.
I really don't think we have enough to trade for Reynolds. I don't, because they said it had to be a Juan Soto type package, and I'm really not sure. And hey, William, it's been a while. I think you've been in here or in some of my lives a couple of times, but I just don't think we have enough. Yeah, and again, I don't know that we have any young arms that aren't already up with us. I mean, yeah, maybe Ian Anderson starts the conversation, but I don't know what after that. Maybe some of our international guys, I'm not sure, but it just seems like too much of a package, although the Pirates have taken a lot of less. Yeah, I would not do Owen Murphy. Schuster maybe, but definitely not Owen Murphy and definitely not Dylan Dodd, and that's probably where they would start. Yeah, well, the fifth starter spot's probably Elder, Shiroka, Anderson, Shiroka, Elder. Who am I missing? 5. I guess Colby Allard maybe. I doubt it. That one's a really big long shot for me for the 5 spot.
Out at Candlestick Park, 1992 NFC champion. That's the last time the Cowboys won a road playoff game. Cowboys are sick of hearing about that.
But that's just the reality. I would love Reynolds, but again, it doesn't. It would clear.
Mike McCarthy has said that defense may win championships, but quarterbacks win.
Yeah, I mean, I think Anderson's probably got the inside track if he developed another pitch and just refined a lot of things. And again, that's something we'll see in spring training. And you guys just gave me a video idea of the intriguing. Yeah, I mean, I think Reynolds is probably gonna take a couple of our young arms and a couple of our young arms that are in the farm system. But you guys just gave me a really good video idea of the spring training battles, top 5 spring training battles to watch. So thank you guys for that. And I'm glad you started to get back in your videos. It's always good to be consistent and just continue creating content and just keep getting yourself out there. Yeah, I mean, Reynolds would solve all of our problems, but I just don't see it. Even though that would be great, but I think Murphy trade, Matt Olson trade kind of took us out of all of that, but who knows? Alex Anthopoulos works in silence and works in stealth, so again, I think a lot of the things, yeah, I mean, if he'll figure things out. If a path to a trade opens up and he feels good about it, he'll do it, and he'll do it. And I think that it's not a bad thing, and I'll co-sign it when it happens or whatever happens. I'm just not the greatest at speculating and all that stuff. Usually I have to see the move and then I can digest it, so to speak. But yeah, I wouldn't be sad about Brian Reynolds, that's for sure. But probably a more realistic, if we wanted to do something, would be Adam Duvall. What's up, Sammy? I hope you enjoyed the combo. You can always comment. We kind of just freelance these conversations, have fun, having fun and talking Braves and talking MLB overall. So the support helps, the likes help, the subscribes help. It's been amazing. So seeing new faces is always.
Snickers satisfies.
Everyone in my family went on a carnival cruise.
If I had to decide right now, probably Michael Harris. Even though I think Jameson was the one that said having Michael Harris as the second leadoff hitter, I see that as well. But you go Ronnie because he's right, Michael Harris because he's left, and then Riley right, the right, left, right, and then Riley, Olson, Darno, Murphy, that kind of thing. But yeah, if I had to decide right now, I would say Michael Harris. But yeah, that's my gut right now. Well, whether it'll actually happen, who knows? But we got a pretty good lineup. We probably have Ron Grisham 7-8. If Marcell Ozuna's the DH, definitely 7 or 8. As it stands now, of course.
It's been a joy to watch him on the field. Now in his third season here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and for more on the present and the future of Tom Brady, let's send it down to Lisa Salters.
Well, Joe, when asked about his future, Tom Brady has said all year he's not thinking any further than this season and now this game tonight. When you're the greatest to ever do something, and it could be your last play.
Am I what? Am I bleached? I don't know what that is. I don't think so. I think it's just the lighting on my in my room, in the office, and on the computer maybe. So I don't think I am. But yeah, I also think, again, I think we talk about this every week, but I think if we keep Travis d'Arnaud, which I think we will, as a great tandem, and they want Travis to DH a little more, then you kind of got to figure out the Marcell Ozuna of it all, because if we have to see him in left field, I will not not be happy if we if we have to see Marcell Ozuna in left field. I will not be happy. Hopefully, we can find a trade partner or something, but it'll be interesting. I think the NL East is, again, the toughest division overall, with the Marlins pitching a new voice in Skip Schumacher, which I don't know how that's gonna go, but I mean, maybe a healthy Soler, a healthy Avisail Garcia, they could be sneaky, especially with their pitching staff. So that's, and then you look at the moves the Phillies made. I think they're gonna be better, but I don't know, because they're not gonna have Harper until June or July with his Tommy John. So they're an interesting team, because they got a bunch of guys that profile best as a DH, with Schwarber, Castellanos. So that'll be interesting, and they kind of depleted their bench and versatility with getting rid of Matt Bierling and Maton. So that's interesting there, and obviously the Mets breaking the bank with not 806 now, whatever $500 million they spent, if you take the Correa deal out of it, because you obviously have to. I think that'll be interesting to figure out the chemistry of it all, because stars and putting stars and stars upon stars upon stars on a baseball field is always a interesting process. We've seen it with the Padres, even though they made the playoffs this year and beat the Dodgers and all that. You kind of see, and they even made more of a star-studded lineup now adding Xander Bogaerts. Didn't they? Oh, they added Nelson Cruz on a 1-year deal, even though he's not what he used to be. They added Matt Carpenter. You got Soto. You got Machado. You got Bogaerts. You got Jake Cronenworth. Ha-Seong Kim. At shortstop, Fernando Tatis is finally starting baseball activities, things of that nature. So the Padres, and with their all-star, where are we at? Let's see. We went through the international signing period. We went through arbitration. We discussed that we don't think the Cubs know what they're actually doing. Even though they got some solid pieces, I just don't understand the actual direction. Andrew McCutchen signed back with the Pirates on a 1-year, $5 million deal. Let's see. Trey Mancini signed a 2-year deal with the Cubs. That's why the Cubs were brought up, because they just keep signing intriguing pieces. Eric Hosmer going there on a 1-year. Jose Alfaro signed a minor league deal. Yeah, the Andrew McCutchen thing just makes your heart happy. And the Pirates had a oddly good offseason for them. I don't think they have enough pitching to sustain anything, but they could be really pesky. Nelson Cruz signed with the Padres on a 1-year deal. I've been surprised that the Orioles haven't done more. They got Kyle Gibson on a 1-year, $10 million deal. And I believe Adam Frazier on a 1-year, $8 million deal, but I thought they would do more, especially with the young core. But that is pretty much there wasn't. We discussed a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, we got a lot of Venezuelan guys, and that's really. You're right. It probably has a big time effect. I think because most of the guys were in from Venezuela. I think we got a few guys from the DR as well. 13 pitchers. Gupta or Luis Gupta. I know I botched that last name, but he was the big prize at $2.5 million for our signing pool or whatever. So I'm really happy to be back in the international market. It's just because we've been so good at it for so many years. Yeah, that was the outfield guy. Oh, a drop already. That's good for Dallas. Yes, that was the outfield guy. I know I severely botched his name, but that really helps our farm system. Being able to ink 21 guys, that could help it really, really quickly. There was one thing I saw on MLB Network where Greg Amsinger was like, Alex Anthopoulos only uses his farm system to acquire talent, and I kind of cringed at that because Michael Harris, Austin Riley, Spencer Strider, Dylan Lee, AJ Minter. All of those guys were from our farm system. So Vaughn Grisham. So I kind of felt that 3 and out on 2 drops for Dallas. Nice. But I just, can they both lose? That'd be great. So that. Yeah, and I just was like, that didn't. And he was comparing what the Braves do to the Boston Red Sox, and which one is better. Even Boston Red Sox fans say that the Braves' way of doing things is better. That's just stupid to even compare or whatever. So I really thought that was kind of short-sighted. Kyle Wright. Yes. Oh, and Joseph, I think you brought it up earlier. I would love to see a Kyle Wright extension, but I think you would have to see this year if he can put a couple of consistent years together. I think that's going to be huge. But I also kind of agree with the sentiment of that as well. But again, Malik Parsons is gonna eat the Bucks alive. But yes, I agree. If both could lose, that would be great.
Cowboys defense, you got to see number 11 all over the field. They'll have the defensive end. They'll have the linebackers. They're trying to get Parsons on different guys, on a tackle, on a guard, on a running back. And I think you'll see Dan Quinn.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that take was kind of short-sighted, and the fact that a lot of people are saying that just because when you sign these guys to extensions, they're going to get comfortable and complacent. Have you met our coaching staff? And the people that we sign are dogs and want to be out there and want to be out there every day and win. And I think that's also, while maybe a little bit true because there's always risk in everything you do, I think that is an indictment to that's an indictment to the players, and I didn't really like that take either. I understand it, so to speak, but it's not I don't think that's accurate. Because the Braves do their due diligence on every move and every signing and every little minute thing that we do. There is a method to AA's madness, so I think that was really not ideal there. And back-to-back 3 and outs, 0 nerves or something. Okay, that's. But that's just my soapbox on the whole contract extension thing and all that stuff. And we talked about Matt Olson's interview. I don't know if you caught that on Starting 9, but that was very, very insightful, and it gave me a lot of warm and fuzzies about his perspective, the leadership and things of that nature. And Dansby at CubsCon was very, very interesting because
next season, prepare to cheer. Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
Yeah, that's so true, and I don't know. I think there's sports takes, and I just feel like this one is being overanalyzed because where there's not, you don't have to sign these things, and we talked about Max Fried a little bit. We all have a consensus that we want Max Fried back, and him filing at $15 million. He'll probably get $15 million this year because ARB 2 to ARB 3 basically doubles for any player, and so, and hoping he gets we can work an extension with him, because I honestly think that Max Fried is 1,000% more important than Dansby and Freddie. I just do, and there's that. But it was kind of funny to me that Dansby at CubsCon said he was addicted to winning, and that is true, because everywhere he's been, he's won. College, high school, all that stuff. The Braves, but I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the Cubs are necessarily doing, and if they get off to a good start, they could be a sneaky team. But I just feel like there are a lot of boom and bust there. So, so that's just my thought there, and we discussed again the outfield of it all, and it's still cloudy, so and there's still time before pitchers and catchers report, which is February 13th, for that to get ironed out. But I think it'll work itself out, because it usually does. It'll take a Pablo Sandoval, Edgar Adrianza. There's gonna be a few randos that we're not even talking about that make a splash, and that's always exciting. That's always really exciting about that. So just really getting excited for baseball to ramp up, even though these football games have been really good. And it's a lot easier to watch playoff football without your team in it. It's a lot more stress.
Should relinquish this game with the depth and the talent that they have. There's no way. But I believe in Tom. There you go.
Wow. Is anyone going to go forward in this Dallas and Tampa game?
Coach, is this a little window into your coaching style that we should expect in Colorado?
Yeah. I mean, they've been. I mean, I respect him for the grandpa story of it all, but yeah, I mean, it was definitely about money. Or he gave off that he definitely gives off that vibe, and good for him. But I think the Braves have more wide open window, and I don't think even the Cubs have started their open window again, to be honest. But good for him, and I'll always cheer for him when he's not playing the Braves, obviously. But yeah, now that I think about it, it is kind of cringy that he's trying to convince himself that this is what he really wanted, kind of. But Yeah. Let's see. Anything else I missed? I don't think so. We talked about again the lineup a little bit. Who would you bat second if you had to choose today? And kind of the consensus I think was Michael Harris, just because of the left right thing of it all.
This is what drives ReliantQuest
Um,
to make security possible.
Yeah, the left right thing, and then we talked about Matt Olson having a breakout. I think Joseph said 100 plus RBIs, 40 homers because of not having the Freddie shadow of it all. So that'll be, and plus the shift, and that's a burning question for me. It's like, how will the new rules impact the pitching, the base running, all that stuff? And obviously, not having the shift is going to be a vitally important piece to see how that affects things. But that's pretty much it. But I think the World Baseball Classic starts sometime in March, so that'll be fun to follow and cover on these lives. I will stay on here to see if we get a first down on the Dallas Tampa. I hope that we can. Maybe we should probably put VG Von Grisham ninth because you get an element of speed there. And then if Marcell Ozuna is on the roster and has to be there at DH, put him 8th. Eddie Rosario or whoever's in left field 7th, and I'm good. But yeah, there wasn't a lot of stuff to talk about today, but we
What do you see in his game?
Hey man, the kid has instinct, athleticism. You see him going, he's shadowing the best, so he's going from side to side. He's playing against.
Yeah, that's true. Because you can't anyway. I didn't even think about that. That is true. Yeah, that'll definitely be interesting. Because are they going to take the John Lester lead? Because you can still, I think, the new. Because you're going to see pitch outs more. They're.
I really want to go outside in.
They're going to be. You're going to see pitch outs more, I think, because I don't know if you can take the John Lester lead, even though you can't throw over more than twice. And even in the interview I talked with Steve, he did not like that rule at all. He was like, that's just doing too much. So we'll see how it works out. But pitch outs and catcher defense is going to be at a premium, and I think we've talked about this a lot, but I think that is the main reason why, and we still don't have a first down.
It is the playoffs, right? Let's go.
No.
$200 instantly. Just for that $5. DraftKings, listen to me. You listen good. I appreciate you for recognizing
the pitch out rule is doing way too much, but obviously I'll give it a try and see what happens. But it's definitely going to put catching defense more at a premium with the pitch outs that I just thought of and discussed. But But yeah, so obviously I'm willing to give everything a chance, but I think that's another reason why a big reason why we pulled off the Sean Murphy trade, and kind of looking ahead, because Travis is a free agent after 2024, I think. So looking ahead there, and plus you still have Chadwick Trump, I believe, as well. So he could be a nice pair with Sean Murphy once Travis retires or whatever happens there. I believe I saw one at least. Let's see. Let me see.
Do not take Trelegy more than prescribed. It may increase risk of thrush and infections.
I believe there
one. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve or gets worse. Don't let asthma take another breath. Go triple. Go Trelegy.
We signed one.
Are you behind on your mortgage?
We signed 3 international catchers.
Considering trying to get a
So
loan modification on your own? Did you know that less than 5% of people who try on their own actually
no, you really haven't missed a lot. I mean, it was the international signing period started yesterday, and typically the first day is the busiest day because they typically agree to deals even though they're technically not supposed to. And then the arbitration, we signed 4 of 5. The only one we didn't sign was Max, which didn't really surprise anyone. And we signed 3 of 5 under projected value. The one that I was most excited about was AJ Minter, 4.28. I don't know much about the international free agents other than like the big prize, the Venezuelan outfielder. But no, and AJ was projected $5 million. Lucas Lipke was projected $175, and we signed him $155. Joe Jimenez was the only one over. The Detroit reliever we got was the only one over projected. So that's the Max filed at 15. We filed at 13.5. He was projected 12.5, so we even filed 1.5 over projected. So yeah, that's not bad considering how quality Max is. Oh, we finally have first down in the Dallas Tampa game, so that's good. But yeah, I don't think there's any way we win that arbitration, but we did save about 400,000 with our others, so that could help. So and just for the record, I really don't want Kellen Moore as head coach, the Dallas offensive coordinator. I just don't. I think it's. But that's what MLB projected. But yeah, there's probably no thing that's fair for a guy like Max Reed, other than an extension, and I don't know that that's gonna happen. Our numbers are another roughing the passer that wasn't roughing the passer. That's nice. And arbitration is such a outdated process. I know they have to do it that way, but I just think it's really, really outdated.
Hey, Dion, we saw a great picture of you and Michael Irvin, the original number 88 for the Cowboys. You were teammates with Michael. Of course, you played against him as well. We see CD Lamb, number 88 for the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's pretty much all the Braves news. And MLB news, there wasn't much of that. Even though Jeff McNeil did sign on to replace Trevor Story in the World Baseball Classic, so that's kind of a nice get for Team USA. But other than that, I think everything's pretty. The Hornets still are really, really bad. The Panthers are interviewing everybody and their brother for the head coaching job, which is doing their due diligence. I'm just surprised I haven't got a call yet. The Canes are still solid. Had some crappy losses lately, but still really good. So that's good.
We got a run play. This is, we're gonna call it, run it like an off play for us.
But
cover two like an off play.
I think that's all. It's a longer one than usual, but just double covering, double checking, double covering, all that stuff, because there you go. Dallas got a touchdown. Woo! Not really, but I had Dalton Schultz in my fantasy, so that is good. But I think that is it. I don't know if there's any important dates recently, but Adam Duvall still hasn't signed, so that's a name to look for because I think the Mets are looking for a fourth outfielder. We talked about him, Adam Duvall, a little bit. I would love to have him back, but again, it clouds up the outfield situation even more than it already was. Yeah, so I think I covered everything. I think I will pray for you. Tomorrow we're getting a lot of rain. Wednesday is supposed to be really nice, but tomorrow's a lot of rain, 70%, 6 to 12 inches of snow. No, thank you. At all. Ugh. And then it's making up for lost time is what it's doing, but Dallas scored but then missed the extra point, so that's gonna be the type of game we get tonight, I think. But yay. Stay warm, Hudson. For sure. But anything that we do, obviously I will cover. I don't expect too much or anything else. Chad Pinder was an interesting candidate for me. Outfield versatility because he's a former A, and apparently we love former A's, and I like what he's brought to the table. So maybe we could do something like that, but I don't expect a lot of extra movement or anything, unless there's something that we're not even seeing, which is typically what Alex Anthopoulos does. And there's most of the main guys have signed, so it's just going to be incremental guys now for total MLB, so we'll see. Yeah, that's... Pitchers and catchers report February 13th. That's the first workout for them. And then the World Baseball Classic is somewhere in March, so that should be that'll be fun to follow on this, and the spring training battles and all that stuff will be fun to talk about on Mondays and things of that nature. So but February 13th, right before Valentine's Day, so spreading the love and having baseball back feels really good. Will feel really good. So
He's gonna look at CD. CD likes it, but look at he moves this safety. He knows he's got zone coverage. He can come back to the tight end right there. It's a nice throw. So a great read by Dak.
Guys, what do you want to do right here? After the defense just gave it up, you guys are quarterback. What are you trying to do right here? This series.
All right, Pete, break us down. Just one more note on Dak, Eli.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got this week. Pretty good conversation. Some interesting newbies came in. So that was kind of good. But see you guys next week. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It helps out a lot. I'm 10 away from 1,200 subscribers, so that would be a nice round number to get to. Yeah, the couple of new people before I got on, before you got on, they didn't really say much. Well, William's not new, but he hadn't been in here in a while, so that was kind of nice to see. That was kind of nice to see. And somebody asked me if I had a boyfriend, and I kind of ignored that one. But yeah, Jameson was in here, Joseph was in here, Sammy didn't say anything, but he or she commented. So yeah, it's always a fun time, and I'm assuming that when we do game watches this year, it'll be more interactive, and even more interactive than typical, and it should help on the watch hours and really good stuff. So that's always fun. And kind of getting a consistent day has been good. So I'll definitely continue this and kind of just pick a day during the season and kind of try to keep that consistent as well for the game watches. So that's the plan. Now, whether that happens or not, I don't know, but I'm going to try to I'm just try to do that. And yeah, it's always a fun time. It's always interesting, the conversations and stuff. Hoping for a couple of bigger moves so we could talk about it, have a little more content to talk about and things of that nature. But these are always good, always fun, and help the watch hours. So I will, until next week, it'll be closer and closer to spring training, and we'll see. I don't think there's any other important dates. I mean, maybe the Hall of Fame voting and Andrew Jones, Billy Wagner, those type guys. So we'll see there, for sure. But I will catch you guys next week. As always, go Braves, champions forever. Thanks for hanging. All you guys, Jameson, Joseph. I know you're not in here now, but really, really good. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks. And Hudson, you're always awesome.
You know, that was my